As car enthusiasts, there are a lot of things, that we appreciate and enjoy about our hunks of metal and bring us joy and happiness, If it's going out for a cruise with a bunch of friends or installing some fresh new parts that you just got in the mail, there truly is a lot that we enjoy as car enthusiasts. However, there are some things specifically with our cars that we just really kind of get under our skin and, for a lack of a better term, grind our gears. What's going on, everybody? Joe's from Fitment Industries, and today we're going to take some time to talk about some little quirks, I guess you could say, of our cars that really aren't a big deal, like at all, but sometimes just annoy the hell out of us. And sometimes you just gotta vent a little bit. But before we go ahead and just get right into it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, wheels, tires, suspension, fitmentindustries.com. If you're looking for that kind of stuff, hit up your boys over there. We'd appreciate it. One little nuisance that seems to pop up on old and even new cars are creaks and rattles, or creaks and squeaks, as I like to say. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I hear something like out of the ordinary that's like rattling around or something like that with my car, or no matter how tiny the sound is, I just continue to hear it. No matter how high you turn up the music, no matter how loud the exhaust is, you just know it's there. And the little creaks and rattles I'm talking about, you know them, like your seat that squeaks just like the tiniest little bit over every bump, or whatever the hell is rattling around inside of your dashboard all of a sudden that wasn't there last week, but now it's there this week. Or maybe you took the door panels off one too many times and now it doesn't exactly like clip in or sit like it used to, and when you listen to music it just rattles. And yeah, it's something so small that, it just really can drive someone nuts. Now, it really is just a part of owning a vehicle, and especially as they get older, more and more tend to pop up. And especially with new cars coming out with a ton of plastic components in the dashboard and then the center consoles and all stuff like that, it just becomes really easy as those things get old and they get broken and all that kind of stuff. But the important thing is, however, if it sounds like if it's coming from somewhere like outside the car, you're probably gonna wanna take a look at it sooner than later. Things like clunks, creaks, rattling, and any other adjective that I can describe. You can hear when the car drives by is not only embarrassing, but it probably means that something is actually wrong with the car, especially if it's coming from your brakes or your suspension components. Keep an eye on your maintenance, It's like the TikToks where they're like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're watching this, change your oil. Well, the same rules apply here. If you're hearing creaking noises when you turn your steering wheel and you own a DSM, you're gonna wanna check the lower ball joints, all right? Because it's not fun when you're like, oh, that's kind of goofy, and you just leave it and then it fails on you and you're stuck. But you've heard the speech 1,000 times. Keep distractions away from yourself when driving, and one of the biggest components to that being your phone. So what did car manufacturers decide to do to help that? Just put a massive just make the whole dash a screen. Now, I like the touch screen option for certain features, like a GPS or going through different menu options, but what kind of gets just a little bit annoying is when everything, and I mean everything, gets integrated into one screen. And maybe it's just me, but having to navigate through different tabs and scrolling through options just to change the temperature, I'd rather just have a couple buttons and a dial or two, just okay, just turn the fan up, just turn the air down, turn the AC on. I don't know if you've tried to use a touchscreen in a lowered car, but especially with some higher spring rates and stuff like that, hitting exactly where you need to go or just sliding the little bar where you need to go gets a little bit difficult, all right? Proves to be a little difficult, I should say. Just give me damn buttons. I like them. They work good. Maybe that's why I like the C8 so much. You can get the f***ing row of buttons. The way those are laid out, I feel like it would just be a little as difficult as well. But you may not agree, and that's totally fine. But coming from my personal experience with the touchscreen controls and everything, it gets to be just a little bit annoying. Number 3 is something that really isn't the fault of anyone, but more of something that us as car guys from the good old white North woods have to deal with, and that's rust. And that, rust is the worst. And I think that is something that we can pretty much everybody can agree on. Rust literally is the car version of cancer, because to completely get rid of it, you have to cut it out. And if you don't take care of it almost instantly, it's just gonna continue to spread and it's not gonna end well. Not only does rust take a toll on the look of your car, but it also can become like a structural issue, especially when it comes to things like strut towers and frame rails and all that sort of stuff. Not only that, but when your car gets rusty, they become an absolute pain to work on. You have to torch almost every bolt, let it sit overnight in PB Blaster, and then like pretty much everything that you touch just straight up disintegrates, when you go to take it off. And it makes it difficult to have fun when installing new car parts, because that's what it should be. What should have been like an hour install is now a weekend project that involves a tap and die kit. It doesn't end up that way. Rust is just not fun, and it can almost pop up out of nowhere seemingly, and it has led to the demise of too many cars. If I could just pour one out, for all the 240s and their frame rails out there, I would. Another feature that has come around with newer vehicles is the keyless entry and push button starts, which I don't think anyone really has a problem with. It's actually a pretty neat feature. However, one downside that has come about with all of this is that car manufacturers seem to have started like a war with each other to see who can make the largest, clunkiest remote key fob in existence. And you know, the whole like phone wallet keys thing, I can't even tell which is what anymore because I'm patting my pockets and they all feel the same size. That's all I got on that, all right? It's too big. And then the last thing we're gonna be talking about today is something that I definitely think that we can all agree on. That is something that impacts all of us who like to work on our own cars, and that is over-engineered components and like just other things that make working on our cars just super damn difficult. Between having to remove excessive plastic shrouds and other surrounding pieces, or having bolts hidden behind other parts, or like you can't take the bolt fully out because, you know, like the freaking like EGR or like the vapor canister thing is in the way, you know, things like that. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the game that we play, especially when we decide to work on our own vehicles. The important thing to remember, however, is through all the busted knuckles, all the broken bolts, all the cans of PB Blaster, all the long nights running to and from the parts store because things either break or you forget that you need a certain tool for one part of the thing and it stops the whole process, you know, it's all worth it in the end. And we as car enthusiasts, you know, are willing to put up with these little annoyances and quirks because in the grand scheme of things, that's all they are. Little, they're small. It's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and drop a comment down below on what your car has or does that just, you know, rubs you the wrong way, or just say hello because, you know, we like that too. We like talking to you guys. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. This was a fun one to talk about. Hopefully you got a laugh or two out of you, but that's gonna wrap it up for today. Again, if you need wheels, tires, or suspension, don't forget to check out fitmentindustries.com, all that sort of good stuff. And then of course, don't forget to subscribe. We upload every day. But I'm Giles from Fitment Industries. We'll see you later. Peace.